Hey, it's Jack Sperry, NFL draft analyst here at Chat Sports, and today I'm going to be revealing my second full first-round NFL mock draft for you guys today, this time with trades. My 1.0 version, no trades. This time we got a whopping 5 trades to go over today. I can't wait to break down this full first-round mock draft with you guys here coming up. But make sure you guys go give me a follow on Twitter or Instagram if you haven't already. If you want more NFL draft content from me, you can find me at Jack_Sperry on X or at SpareDog.football on Instagram. If you want to interact with me, if you have questions about my mock draft, whatever the case may be, just send me a DM on either X or Instagram, and let's talk some football. All right, so let's get to the first pick here, and this one's pretty quick. We'll get through this one here. Caleb Williams is going to be the number 1 overall pick. I have the highest grade I've ever put on a quarterback prospect in my 7 years of evaluating quarterbacks for the draft. He is totally special, and I think he completely transforms life in Chicago day one. Then for number 2 overall, I'll go with Jayden Daniels out of LSU to the Washington Commanders. I think he's a great fit for what Cliff Kingsbury, the new offensive coordinator, wants to do there in Washington, and I think he's already a dynamic rusher that is worth betting on here. Then at number 3, I'm a little bit lower on Drake Maye than some of the true Drake Maye diehards are. This might even be seen as a little bit of a reach, but the fact of the matter is the New England Patriots do not have a long-term answer at quarterback. And plain and simply, my philosophy when it comes to the quarterback position in the National Football League is that if you don't have one, you need to do whatever you can to get one, especially if you're in a position to take a high-end quarterback prospect like Drake Maye here at number 3. Now, Maye is somebody that has significant footwork and accuracy issues, and those things definitely scare you, but he's got the high-end playmaking upside that could be a potential MVP-type quarterback in this league someday. And if you're New England, you have Jacoby Brissett. You can have Drake Maye sit a year if you need him to do that. And if I'm them right now, I'm staying put. I'm not trading down, and I'm taking Drake Maye. But now you be the GM down there in the comments section. If you are the New England Patriots and you had a choice between taking a quarterback, namely Drake Maye, at number 3, or trading down, what are you doing? Type TD if you want to trade down, or type QB if you want to take a quarterback. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Then at number 4, the Arizona Cardinals. I think that Kyler Murray really benefits from having a dominant perimeter ball winner in the wide receiver room. I mean, when he was with DeAndre Hopkins versus when he's not with DeAndre Hopkins in his career, the numbers are very stark difference there. So I want to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. He's the best wide receiver in this class, in my opinion. He is a lot bigger than Malik Nabers. So even though similar grade between the two guys here, I think the Cardinals really like Marvin Harrison Jr., and they'll take him at number 4. And now with the first 4 picks out of the way, we have our first trade down of the day, starting with the Los Angeles Chargers, who are going to be trading down with, this is a little bit of a surprise here, the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to get 2 additional second-round picks, 1 this year, 1 next year, to move from 5 to 13. And the Las Vegas Raiders are going to move up, not for J.J. McCarthy, but for Michael Penix Jr. Now, I put it on my Twitter yesterday. I'm going to put Michael Penix Jr. irresponsibly high in this week's mock draft. All right, plain and simply, I'm higher than Michael Penix Jr., than probably the general public, because I love the ability to dominate from the pocket, anticipate open windows, target down the field, and really put it on a dime with that deep ball accuracy. So I personally like Penix a lot more than J.J. McCarthy, who does have some translatable skills, and he's got a pretty decent physical profile, but there's not a whole lot of the same down the field high level throws on his film, and I think there's a lot more projection with McCarthy than there is with Michael Penix Jr., and specifically for the Las Vegas Raiders here. I think he fits what head coach Antonio Pierce wants in a locker room leader, and I think he fits what new offensive coordinator Luke Getsy wants in a passer. He tried to turn Justin Fields into a pure drop back pocket passer his entire entire career there in Chicago, and it just didn't work out. Michael Penix Jr. has the personality and the leadership Antonio Pierce is looking for, and he's got the downfield throwing ability that I think Luke Getsy is looking for. So the way that it works in the National Football League, guys, is that these teams have their guys at the quarterback position that they'd be willing to go up and trade up for. And plain simply, because Penix is such a good fit, because he's such a good fit both culturally and schematically, I think he's going to be one of their guys. And even though most people expect Penix to go towards the latter half of the first round, I think Las Vegas is going to do whatever it takes to get Michael Penix Jr. in the silver and black next season. So now we have another trade here with the New York Giants, because I'm looking at the Giants here, and the question is, should they take a quarterback at number 6? Now, the two quarterbacks that you could potentially take here, with 4 quarterbacks already off the board, are J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix. And personally, I don't see McCarthy or Nix fitting into Brian Daboll's throw the ball down the field type of system. So I don't think either is a good fit. And I think New York is a team that has a lot of needs that they need to fill on this roster. So they're going to rather trade down here. And the team to trade down for J.J. McCarthy is going to be the Minnesota Vikings. All right. Now, this is an interesting kind of pick swap situation that I have going on here. The Vikings are going to get pick number 6, and they're going to get the Giants' second round pick, number 47 overall. In exchange, the Giants will get pick 11. They'll get the Vikings' other first round pick, and they will get an additional 4th round pick this year from the Minnesota Vikings at 108 overall. And with this pick, of course, like I said, this is for J.J. McCarthy. Now, I think the Vikings don't trade up to 5 because I think they like either Penix or McCarthy. Both of them are good fits in Kevin O'Connell's offense, in my opinion. And now that Penix comes off the board at 5, that increases the pressure on Minnesota to get their guy, which is why they move up at 6 instead of earlier in the first round. And that's exactly why I have them waiting. I think that they're okay with either Penix or McCarthy. And because from 5 to their pick at 11, they're kind of in the driver's seat. So they kind of feel like, if someone jumps us for a Penix or a McCarthy, we'll just go up and trade for that other guy and probably pay a little bit lower of a price. And that's exactly what I have them doing. But I will also say here, keep in mind that I think the first plan for Minnesota and what they would really love to happen is to trade up to number 3 overall with the New England Patriots and take Drake Maye. They have Sam Darnold in place there in Minnesota, so Drake doesn't have to play right away, but he's a high-end quarterback-type talent that I compare to the likes of Deshaun Watson when he was coming out of Clemson. So if New England wants to trade down, I think Minnesota's probably the team that's going to be the highest bidder for that number 3 overall pick. Now, coming up here, picks 7 through 32 here on my 2.0 version of my NFL mock draft. But before I get into the rest of today's show, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Game Time. And Game Time is the fastest and easiest way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater in your area. Game Time is the fastest growing ticketing app in the United States of America and is the only ticketing app on the market that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. See the view from your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive at the arena. And tickets are also sent directly to your phone instead of your email. And oh yeah, I didn't even mention they have a lowest price guarantee, so you don't have to go shop around on other ticketing apps. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS. That's one word, all caps, CHATSPORTS. It's right down there in the bottom right of your screen for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's one word, all caps, for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Now we can get rolling a little bit here after the quarterback madness at the top of the draft. Joe Alt, best offensive tackle in this class, goes to Tennessee. That one seems like a no-brainer to most people. But hold on now. We got another trade inside the top 10. And I'm going to have the Atlanta Falcons trade down here in a very interesting move where I have the Jacksonville Jaguars moving up to number 8. And they're going to give up their first-round pick next year in order to make this deal happen. I think the Falcons feel like they need an edge rusher. There's 3 really good ones in this class, and they can move down to number 17 and still get somebody to be their number 1 edge rusher moving forward. And then Jacksonville can move up and get the guy to replace Calvin Ridley here and Malik Neighbors, somebody that I think they're going to feel like is worth 2 first-round picks to give their guy Trevor Lawrence a legit number 1 wide receiver option right out of the gate. I have a very close grade on Malik Neighbors then to Marvin Harrison Jr. These two guys are arguably the best receiver prospects I have ever evaluated for the NFL draft. And if Jacksonville can move up here to number 8 and take him to be the number 1 guy in that wide receiver room, I think they would be thrilled. Here at number 9, Rome Odunze falls to the Chicago Bears to pair with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and of course, Caleb Williams there in Chicago. That is going to be one of the most feared wide receiver threesomes in the league. And a guy as talented as Williams throwing them the football, that's going to be a dangerous offense there in Chicago. Number 10, I got Brock Bowers, the tight end out of Georgia, going to New York. Aaron Rodgers is notorious for getting incredible production out of his tight ends, and Bowers is an offensive weapon. That makes a lot of sense for me because the Jets don't have a ton of big needs. Then at number 11, the trade down with New York to number 11, not taking a quarterback here. I have them taking my number 1 corner, Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. Super complete player. The Giants need another outside cornerback presence opposite of Deontay Banks and then Cordell Flott in the slot. I think if you get Quinion Mitchell, you have one of the best man coverage secondaries in the National Football League heading into next year. Number 12, this is a reach for me, personally, based on the grade I have on Bo Nix, but I think that he fits what Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos want out of their franchise quarterback. And let's face it, Denver is absolutely desperate. So I do think this is the pick here. I've had him connected to Denver since the beginning of this process. The first game I saw Bo Nix, I said, that's a Bronco. I feel like that's going to happen. Then number 13, based on the trade down with Los Angeles, they end up taking maybe one of the top guys on their board in Talisi Fuaga here. Jim Harbaugh loves his mauling, run-blocking, big physical offensive tackles, and that's what Fuaga is. I have the highest run block grade on Fuaga than any other tackle in this class. This is a match made in heaven. That number 14, Alu Fashanu comes off the board here to the New Orleans Saints. We don't know Ryan Ramczyk, what's kind of going to be his future. Trevor Penning has been a disappointment, but I think you can move Penning over to right tackle. He's a physical mauling presence. He'd fit on the right side, and then Alu Fashanu, arguably the best pass-protecting offensive tackle in this draft. I think it's a perfect fit to protect Derek Carr. Number 15, Nate Wiggins, a really good corner out of Clemson. I think he's a perfect fit for what Indianapolis likes to do defensively. Lots of zone. Nate Wiggins is a guy that's incredibly sticky in coverage, but not the longest arms. So I think this is a perfect fit for them. And now we get to pick number 16 with the Seattle Seahawks. And I'm going to have them trade down here, and I have the Detroit Lions trading up. Now, Detroit is a team that doesn't have a lot of needs, but they really want to get another big-time edge rusher. So here, quite a haul, an additional second-round pick and fourth-round pick this year, and then you also get an additional second-round pick in 2025 if you are the Seahawks to move down to number 29. And with the 16th pick here, I'm going to have Detroit take Leatu Latu, edge rusher out of UCLA. He's currently my number 1 edge rusher just because of how ready he is to play in the National Football League. Big body. He's going to be able to survive against the run, every down kind of guy right away. And he's got one of the best cross-chop moves that I've ever seen in the college prospect. I mean, very few people are able to pull off that cross-chop move. Latu has the athleticism and the balance to pull it off. And with the Lions, they're looking for somebody to contribute right away. They're trying to win Super Bowls now. I think Latu is the most NFL-ready guy, and I think that he is the guy they would target. Then Atlanta, they move down to number 17, and they probably take the guy they would have taken at number 8 anyway, and Dallas Turner, edge rusher out of Alabama. Really long arms. He's got the leverage advantage on pretty much every single snap that he takes. Also underrated pass defender as well, going out in zone coverage as an outside linebacker. Raheem Morris, the new head coach there in Atlanta, is going to love him. Number 18, Cooper DeJean out of Iowa going to Cincinnati. You lose Chidobe Awuzie, your number 1 corner, and right now what you have in that room isn't all that great. You have DJ Turner and Cam Taylor-Britt, but you want somebody on the outside there that has some versatility as well. Cooper DeJean fits that bill, and I think he's going to be a mainstay in that Bengals secondary for years. Number 19, I'm going to go edge rusher Jared Verse. The Los Angeles Rams need a high-end number 1 edge rusher, and Verse is kind of the last of that threesome that's really at the top of this year's class, so I think that's the pick here. Number 20, I got Amarius Mims to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They need a mauling, run-blocking right tackle. The Steelers want to move Broderick Jones, who they took in the first round last year. played right tackle last year. I think they want to move him over to left side because that's where he played in college. Mims played on the right side, and he's got some of the best film and physical profile of any player in this draft. I think that's a home run for the black and gold. Now, if you love the NFL and you want more NFL mock draft videos from us here at Chat Sports, make sure you click that thumbs up icon. If you're enjoying today's show, we really do appreciate all of your support. And by clicking that thumbs up icon, it tells the YouTube algorithm to push this video out to more NFL fans like yourselves. And then at number 21, this is a match made in heaven for me. Troy Fautanu out of Washington. Let's face it, Miami has a couple holes on the offensive line. Fautanu can play tackle or guard. I think no matter where they put him, he's going to be fantastic. I think that's a great fit. Number 22, the Eagles. I think this is such a Howie Roseman pick. If you've followed the Eagles and what they like to do in the first round under Roseman, it's always trench players, offensive and defensive linemen. They just lost Jason Kelsey, their former center. Jackson Powers-Johnson can play center. He can play guard if you want to put Landon Dickerson there in the middle. But I really do think that this is a position the Eagles need to kind of replenish interior offensive line, and I think that this is the move for the Eagles. So now the last trade of the day, we're going to once again have the New York Giants trade down and get some additional draft capital here, but they're not going to move far here. They're going to go from 23 to 25. We're going to have the Green Bay Packers move up a couple of spots here. The Giants are going to get an additional fourth-round pick for their trouble. And with the 23rd pick, I'm going to have the Green Bay Packers take Graham Barton, center out of Duke. Now, what's great about Graham is that he can play guard and tackle as well. I think he can survive on the left side as a left tackle in the league if they need him to do that in David Bakhtiari's absence. But Josh Myers, their current center, isn't really getting it done. And I think that Green Bay really wants to address that position in round one. And with the Cowboys needing a center in front of them, I think Green Bay is willing to pay the fourth round pick price in order to jump them here at number 23. Speaking of the Cowboys here, all the first-round options at center are gone. So let's go playmaker on the outside. Brian Thomas Jr., wide receiver out of LSU. Combining his ability to get down the field and take the top off of a defense with Brandon Cooks and CeeDee Lamb's ability to get open in the intermediate is going to be absolutely deadly for that Dallas Cowboys offense. Really like that fit between Brian Thomas Jr. and them boys. And then number 25, another wide receiver here coming off the board to the New York Giants, and it's going to be Adonai Mitchell, wide receiver out of Texas. Big guy, maybe a little spindly, not the biggest, like in terms of girth guy in the world, but, he's super fast, ran in the 4.3s, big body in terms of height, really good body control as well, and then fantastic route running. Reminds me a lot of CeeDee Lamb. Can't wait to see what he can do in a New York Giant uniform. Then at number 26, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have quite a few needs that they need to address this draft cycle, but three-technique defensive tackle is definitely one of them, and Jerzon Newton out of Illinois is one of my favorite players in this entire draft, one of my favorite guys to watch on film because he's always winning, and he's got an incredible motor, and he's got incredible stamina as well. He's going to be a three-down starter in the league right away, and honestly, he should go higher than this, but just the way that the board fell in this mock, he ends up going to number 26 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And then another defensive tackle coming off the board here, at number 27 to the Arizona Cardinals. Love the physical dominance and upside of Byron Murphy. Might not be on the same technical level as a Jerzon Newton, at least in my opinion right now. But man, this guy is special physically, and this is a rebuilding Cardinals team that could really, really use a disruptive pass rusher in the middle of their defense. I think that's a great fit. Then at number 28, this one might be a little bit controversial, but I really like Xavier Legette. He reminds me a lot of A.J. Brown when he was coming out of Ole Miss. Big guy that's really good after the catch, can beat you down the field as well. And I just think that he's a perfect replacement for Gabe Davis for Josh Allen and this Bills offense, man. Like, you still got Stephon Diggs, your intermediate, your route runner type of guy. Khalil Shakir is more of your yards after the catch, short area guy. Now you get Xavier Legette as your true run blocking type guy, downfield threat, and yards after the catch threat. I think that's a perfect fit right there. Number 29, Chop Robinson. The Seattle Seahawks trade down. They end up getting a really high upside edge rushers here out of Penn State in Robinson, who was just an absolute beast at the combine. That's definitely going to help his draft stock. Terrible run defender at this point in his career, but he definitely has the physical upside to be molded into a legit shutdown, lockdown, number one edge rusher in the league. Number 30, this is going to be maybe a little bit controversial here, but hear me out on this one. Xavier Worthy to the Baltimore Ravens. And right now the Ravens have something that's really difficult to stop. You have an absolute powerhouse at running back in Derrick Henry, a jitterbug of a quarterback in Lamar Jackson, and you've got a really good wide receiver in Zay Flowers, plus Rashad Bateman on the outside, good ball winner with his hands. Now let's add an element to that where you get an elite deep threat here, and Xavier Worthy that's going to take the top off of the defense every single time. And you got to defend Derrick Henry, and you got to defend Lamar Jackson, and you got to cover up Zay Flowers and his elite route running ability. I mean, good luck stopping that, man. I think that this is going to be the pick. I love the fit between Xavier Worthy and the Baltimore Ravens, and I think that this is probably where he's going to end up. Number 31, Terrion Arnold. San Francisco needs another starting type corner. Arnold is the best player available on my board at this point, and this seems like a good fit. Number 32, and I hate myself for letting Ladd McConkey fall this far to the Kansas City Chiefs because I don't want to give Patrick Mahomes this good of a weapon. Ladd McConkey is an elite route runner, probably a top 15, maybe top 10 route runner in the league right away. He is absolutely fantastic. But at the end of the day, man, the board fell this way. And if he's available at number 32, I think that's where they go. So there's my complete mock draft here, 2.0 version with trades. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Grade my mock, A, B, C, D, or F. Let me know your thoughts down there in the comments section. And then one more little reminder here. If you want to check out all of my NFL draft content on social media, I am at Jack_Sperry and at SpareDog.football on Instagram. I really do appreciate all of your support. And without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now here at Chat Sports to join our family and to get extensive, in-depth NFL and NFL draft content every single day right here on YouTube.